personal growth to business solutions, there is no limit to what you can imagine. It's time to reimagine banking. Centenary Bank, our bank.
Hello and thank you for joining us right here on Luntha Television. It's time for news. Enjoy with me, Jacqueline Saidi. First, the headlines. Pope Francis upholds matters as a comfort for today's persecuted Christians. Government adjusts upwards the 2023-2024 national budget to 4.3 trillion kwacha. Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative seeks the closure of conditions for out-of-court settlement in Mapeto 16.5 billion kwacha case. And in other news, 32 people killed in attacks between Sudan and South Sudan. We have these and more reports. Stay with us. The Holy Father Pope Francis has recalled the beatification of 20 martyrs in Seville who were killed in hatred for the faith during the Spanish Civil War. Speaking following the recitation of the Angelus, the Pope said the 20, which include the diocesan priest and 19 companions, including priests and lay people, were killed in 1936 in the climate of religious persecution. He further noted that as these martyrs bore witness to Christ until the end, their example should comfort the many Christians who are discriminated against because of their faith in our times. We have a Vatican News report. The beatification ceremony in the Seville Cathedral was celebrated by the prefect of the Dicastery for the Causes of Saints, Cardinal Marcelo Semeralo. The new blessed include 10 priests, 1 seminarian, and 9 lay people. All of them were killed out of hatred for the faith in 1936. The only lay woman was a housewife who worked with the parish. Among the other laymen were lawyers, landowners, a pharmacist, a sacristan, and a carpenter. Among the priests, many had already suffered violent anti-clericalism before the outbreak of the Civil War. Some were educators, others saw their churches burned. The Catholic Charismatic Renewal, a movement in the Catholic Church, has called on the young people to be agents of change in the country by effecting their Christian values. The movement's national chaplain, Father Bernard DSC and the National Coordinator, Professor Charles Jumbe, made the call in their separate remarks on Sunday during the opening mass of the first ever Life in the Spirit seminars being held at St. John of God in Lilongwe. The two noted that the young people that form the majority of the country's population are falling into traps that are ruining their lives, but emphasized that using their spiritual values, like those adapted from the movement, they help in creating a society that is free from immoral behaviors. We have more on this report by Bernard Manza.
According to Father Bernard Tiese, who is the national chaplain of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal in Malawi, it is important for every Christian to be associated with a movement as it helps to revamp the gifts of the Holy Spirit in one's life to manifest. He said the seminars will play a vital role in renewing most of the participating young people and help them build responsible individuals in the church and the country at large.
The youth will be renewed, totally renewed, because some of them have the good will, but what to do, it was escaping them. But after the seminar, they will be informed of what is expected of them and what they should do. So, practicing all that, being in the youthful stage, that will go a little further than what we expected.
On his part, Professor Charles Jumbe said the decaying of morals among the citizens in the country is letting down the country's development, as most of people think of themselves more than of the country. He said this can only be corrected if the Holy Spirit is upon them and guide them in each and every aspect of life, while concurring with Father Tiese that the seminars will help these youths to grow responsible citizens.
We expect that through this training, the youth will have their lives revitalized in terms of Christ. They will know what to do, and the Holy Spirit will be able to guide them in terms of what they can do. They will avoid corruption, they will avoid so many things that happen in this world that make us to be where we are as poor.
The seminars will run up to Saturday, the 25th November 2023, and over 20 young people from all Catholic dioceses in Malawi are participating. The seminars will be led by two facilitators from Zambia and other speakers from Malawi. This is Bernard Manza for Luntha News in Lilongwe.
Government has adjusted upwards the 2023-2024 national budget from 3.8 trillion kwacha to 4.3 trillion kwacha, representing a mid-year budget review statement at the Parliament earlier today. Minister of Finance Simplex Chichora-Banda said the revised budget is in line with exchange rate pressures, which have also pushed upwards the public debt from 10.5 trillion kwacha to 12.56 trillion kwacha. Noting that the budget deficit for the year stands at 1.28 trillion kwacha, Chichora-Banda has since called for financial reforms which will help fix the ailing economy. We have more in this report by Tandewe Mzumara.
In his statement, the finance minister, among other things, highlighted the increase in wages and salaries from 900.44 billion Malawi kwacha to 980.43 billion kwacha to cushion public servants from the devalued kwacha. He went on to disclose that it is reviewing relevant taxes and the pay as you earn to cushion those workers whose earnings have lost value due to the devaluation. Government has, among other things, disclosed plans to generate at least $250 million every year through diaspora engagement through the creation of diaspora cities, whereby Malawians living outside the country will be allowed to buy designated plots in Mzuzu, Blantyre and Lilongwe cities. Chichora-Banda went on to disclose that the move to cut the fuel allocations by top government officials has resulted in a saving of 4.2 billion Malawi kwacha, which will be used for mega farms.
What we are saying is that, for example, we want Malawians who are staying outside the country to participate in economic activities of this country. This is diaspora engagement program. We want people who are wealthy, rich citizens from outside to benefit from Golden Visa program. They can come here, settle here, invest in areas of agriculture tourism and mining. We are also looking forward to generating a lot of revenue from carbon trading, financing, and climate smart funding.
Meanwhile, National Planning Commission NPC Director General Thomas Montali has said in order to boost the production sector, there is a need to make sure that institutions that have been tasked to facilitate several initiatives aimed at generation of foreign currency, as outlined in the statement, should be fully capacitated.
We want to come back here and listen to the same measures, more or less similar measures next year. We should be able to be talking next year about what progress are we making, and we should also all be getting excited, because the more we are implementing these measures, we will then be able to see traction. And I should also mention that we should avoid as a nation to be cherry picking, to say we'll implement that and not that and the other one. These have to work as a package.
Apart from cushioning civil servants, the revised budget has also considered cushioning Cyclone Freddy victims, where 184,920 households will receive 150,000 kwacha and 105,000 Malawians in the 4 cities will receive 150,000 kwacha covering 3 months. The mid-year budget review statement has also announced an increase in social cash transfer beneficiaries from 10 to 15% of the population and an increase of climate-smart public works program beneficiaries from 362,450 to 520,000, which has also been extended to city councils. The finance minister also announced the recruitment of 2,741 health workers. For Luntha News, this is Tandiwe Mzumara.
Remember, you're still watching news right here on Luntha Television. We'll be back after the break.
Luso Technology yatibweretsera nkhani yabwino. Lilongwe, Luntha ndi Mzuzu, chimwayi chofuna kuphunzira ntchito zamanja chomwe takhala tikudikirira chija chafika. Lusotech ikhale kuphunzitsa makosi akumtima kwanu, ndipo pamapeto mudzalandira certificate ndi zida zoyambira ku repairing courses. Ndipo 85,000 mudzalipira makosi awa: ICT, computer, tailoring and fashion design, electrical and solar installation, audio production, video production, phone repairing, computer repairing, electronics repairing. Pamene 200,000 mudzalipira makosi awa: plumbing, welding, catering, komanso course methodology. Registration ndi 5,000 kwacha. Kuti mulembetse, imbani foni pa manambala awa: 0995 545449, 0995 545449, kapena 0888 114412, 0888 114412. Olofikani ku maofesi athu omwe ali ku Lilongwe White Falls pafupi ndi Admark, pamene ku Luntha City Plaza Building floor number 3 ulimbe kumeneko. Pamene ku Mzuzu mutipeza moyang'anana ndi main gate ya msika wa mahardware. Masiku anotu somangokhala manjalende. Tiyeni ku Lusotech.
Ajimwene bize teno pili inedi ndikusilira moyo wanu wa mwanali renji. Muli ndi nyumba ija mukumanga ija olusimamalize kukoma, muli ndi ng'ombe, muli ndi mbuzi, abaka ndende osanena. munapanga bwanji kuti mufike pamene
mbale wanga zimafuna olimba mtima komanso zimatenga nyengo chimene chimachitika ndichonena kuti zimafuna ndalama zimene inu ndine timapeza mwa tsiku lililonse mabizinesi osiyanasiyana pang'ono katika kugwira kantchito timazitenga ndikusonkhanitsa pamodzi kumasunga pang'ono ndikumayika m'mabizinesi kuzidzala ndalama.
Phiri apa ndiye mwandithandiza kodi kudzala ndalama ine ndingayambire pati
mbale wanga nkhani yodzala ndalama si nkhani yapatali kwenikweni koma imafuna kudekha komanso kupirira chifukwa imatenga kanthawi pang'ono.
Phiri koma ndi mmene mwaneneramu sikufunika ndalama zambiri zimene
monga mwachitsanzo kupita ku banki kukasiya ndalama zanu pang'ono ndikukhala ndi mapulani oti muthu opangira zina zake ndi mafuna ukadaulo oti mukafunse kwa anthu amene amazitsata zimene za bankizo komanso muthu gula mashares kumakampani osiyanasiyana khalenso kumanga nyumba kumene kuti mudzitolera tapa mwezi tichi ndi chimodzi zonse ndiye kudzala ndalama
koma ndiye wazama kwambiri mzanga
zona chakumayenda ndi nthawi mukuziwa amene dziko lichitikira pano mafuna mapulani pang'ono kumasunga zinthu moti nyumba ili kusaija tikhoma.
Khazikitsani cholinga chanu lero dzalani ndalama kuti mukwaniritse cholinga chanucho.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, know that it's news time right on Luntha television, coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center in the Longway. Moving forward, the corruption fight stock has established that some government institutions remain non-responsive to inquiries on accountability. Forum for National Development, which has been working on accountability cases, has, however, singled out other institutions such as ACB and Secretary to the President and Cabinet, led by Faison Jodi and Bright Compoundi. The organization has, among others, suggested a December 30th, 2023 deadline for a forensic report to be done at Electricity Generation Company of Malawi. We have more in this report by Robert Edward.
Among other projects under the organization's stock, Salima Lilongwe Water Project is having its legal dust refusing to settle, with a fresh judicial review in the High Court following the lifting of an injunction which FND had obtained to stop the domestic borrowing of 105 billion kwacha for the project by government. The organization also wants government to move with a swift action on Salima Sugar Company and Genco, arguing there are criminality elements in the audit report at Salima Sugar Company.
Vis-a-vis, we also highlighted the actions on several cases that I've been dealing with. We've been dealing with the issue of Salima Water Project, and we highlighted the status of the case. We also looked at the project of the Salima Sugar Factory, looking at what the government has done, commenting for the action, but at the same time demanding more as a result of the forensic audit. We also highlighted what's happening at the Genco, calling on to ensure that the forensic audit be expedited to ensure that truth must come out as quickly as possible.
The stock further alleges that 3 of 30 that received advanced payment for the Malawi Electrification Program (MAREP) did not supply the items, but 2 paid back the money to government, while 1 is yet to pay back, and the forum wants an investigation into the matter. Anti-Corruption Bureau (ACB), Secretary to the President and Cabinet, and some committees of Parliament are some of the responsive institutions, while the Speaker of the National Assembly and Attorney General, among others, are said to be those not very responsive to the stock. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
The Human Rights Body, Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives, CDD, is requesting Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, to make public the terms that have led to the out-of-court settlement agreement within 7 days, or else Malawians will be forced to make their own conclusion and decide to take action. In a letter addressed to DPP Masauko Jamkagala and copied to Minister of Finance, CDD Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa is seeking clarity on how the department in the Ministry of Justice arrived at a decision to announce withdrawing the 16.5 billion kwacha tax evasion case involving Mapeto David Whitehead and the Malawi Revenue Authority that led to the arrest of 3 of the company's directors and some MRA officials in 2021. It was all smiles at St. Louis Montfort Catholic Church in Mwacheka Outstation within Ponela Parish in Lower District as the congregants were handed over a magnificent modern church building. The church, built by Lyson Adwal Banda, a member of the Church of Central African Presbyterian CCB, was given to the congregants on Sunday. Emmanuel Georgia with more on this report.
Speaking during the ceremony, Archbishop Desmond George Tambara of the Archdiocese of Lilongwe said the church cherishes the relationship it holds with citizens of other denominations. The Archbishop, however, thanked Mr. Banda for supporting the Catholic Church despite being a member of another church.
It's a big surprise, I would say happy surprise. And also, I've really marveled at what we have seen here. What we have seen here is something that is out of the ordinary. Not a rich man. And out of the means that he has this church, he's not Catholic. And he has built a church for us here, the Catholic community here. This is something that we need to learn from.
In an interview, St. Louis Parish Priest Monsignor Francis Sonkhani said the kind of giving that Mr. Banda has expressed is a pure indication of real love and support.
The ones benefiting this, that it is a precious gift they have received and that they should take good care of it, look after it well, and also to use it because it has been built that they use it to pray, that they experience God, and in the end they get the salvation that they need.
St. Louis small Christian community had a church, but it was destroyed by heavy rains. The small Christian community started in 2005 with only 30 families.
Lastly, in international news, a series of attacks in Abyei, a disputed region between Sudan and South Sudan, has left 32 people dead, including women, children, and a peacekeeper, local officials have said. A statement which has been released by the Minister of Information for Abyei and South Sudanese spokesman for the region has further indicated that people were burnt to death in their huts and more than 20 others were injured in the attacks. The attacks carried out on Sunday in 2 counties by armed militias and soldiers wearing South Sudanese army uniforms were condemned by a government representative from Abyei, an oil-rich territory on the border between the 2 countries. We have an African News report.
South Sudan has called for an urgent investigation into these barbaric attacks on civilians.
Located between Sudan and South Sudan, the Abyei region has been a flashpoint since the South gained independence in 2011. Earlier this month, a UN regional envoy expressed fears that fighting between rival factions vying for power in Sudan was moving closer to the border with South Sudan and Abyei. The proximity of the fighting to Abyei risks destabilizing this already fragile region, while the ongoing crisis in Sudan has effectively suspended talks between the two countries on this long-disputed territory, one Lihana. Tete, the UN Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa in Sudan, the conflict that broke out on April 15th between the head of the army, General Abdel Fattah Bahani, and his deputy Tendeliver General Mohamed Hamdani Dagalo, has left more than 10,000 people dead, according to an estimate by the NGO Armed Conflict Eradication and Event Data Project ACRED, which is considered to be greatly underestimated. The UN Security Council voted unanimously this month to extend the 12-year-old peacekeeping mission in Abyei, which currently has 4,000 troops. And with that, we have reached the end of our news bulletin. But before we go, let's have a reminder of our headlines. Pope Francis upholds martyrs as a comfort for today's persecuted Christians. Government adjusts upwards the 2023-2024 national budget to 4.3 trillion kwacha. Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative seeks the closure of conditions for out-of-court settlement in Mapeto 16.5 billion kwacha case. And in other news, 32 people killed in attacks between Sudan and South Sudan. You have been with me, Jacqueline Saidi. Thank you very much for watching Luntha Television, and stay safe.
Luso Technology yatibweretsera nkhani yabwino. Lilongwe, Luntha ndi Mzuzu, chimwayi chofuna kuphunzira ntchito zamanja chomwe takhala tikudikirira chija chafika. Lusotech ikhale kuphunzitsa makosi akumtima kwanu, ndipo pamapeto mudzalandira certificate ndi zida zoyambira kuma repairing courses. Ndipo 85,000 mudzalipira makosi awa: ICT, computer, tailoring and fashion design, electrical and solar installation, audio production, video production, phone repairing, computer repairing,